We just might have a college football classic on our hands in week 4. Saturday night football. The Illinois Fighting Illini and their quarterback Luke Altmyer head to Memorial Stadium to take on Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers. There is so much hype for this football game. First of all, you have two quarterbacks that are veteran, that have played in a ton of football games, and not just have they played in a lot of games, they know how to win. Fernando Mendoza coming over from Cal Berkeley, where he had a very good season. Indiana wanted to go out and bring this guy in, believing that he can bring them back to what they were a year ago and to the college football playoff. I'll tell you this much. I don't see any path where the team that loses this game gets to the CFP. So for all intents and purposes, this could be a college football playoff elimination game because there's just not enough room. With Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, a couple other teams like USC awaiting, there's not a lot that you can make up for if you lose this football game. Luke Altmyer in Illinois, they've been there, they've had great defenses, but I don't know if we have seen a defense like this with the efficient quarterback being able to lead this team, staying away from the turnovers, being effective, throwing the football down the field. That defense, of course, is led by Gabe Lucas. So when you look at this game, it's really cool to see how just about every position is pretty equated. You go to Illinois' defense and their leader in Lucas. You compare that to Mikail Kamara. You tell me who the better football player is. I say they're both great players and both will have big impacts on this game on Saturday night. As far as running the football, I don't know how it gets much better than 300 rushing yards on Friday night for Indiana. Not just that, Omar Cooper Jr., have yourself a day. We knew what he was a year ago. Came out with a nice year. Obviously, Elijah Surratt is the go-to guy, one of the best receivers in the country. The patented 50-50 back shoulder throw that he's even established a couple of times here already in the young season. But Omar Cooper Jr., 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm pretty confident that that can be the best stat line for any wide receiver in FBS this season. Even Jeremiah Smith or any other wide receiver. Combine them, coming up with a stat line like that. Now for this game, this is huge because when we talk about Big Ten football, a lot of it's going to be pound the football, play great defense. Both of these teams have played good defense so far, but that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the talent on the outside. Illinois had the responsibility of replacing Pat Bryant. What does this unit look like without his prowess on the outside for them? Who have they looked to? Well, Beatty's been pretty good for them. He's had a lot of effects on these football games so far going to him for Indiana. We just talked about Cooper Jr. Surratt, though, for this game. They need to get their best offensive weapon, the football, early and often, establishing that, because in these types of games, you need rhythm. You have to run the ball. You have to get play action off of your run game and get your quarterback confident early so that by the time you're in the middle of that second quarter, you can throw over the middle of the field. How often do we see quarterbacks? These are the words of Urban Meyer. I got to take him because I love what he said. Throwing over the middle of the field, coming out hot. We've seen Altmyer do it a number of times, even Mendoza in the past, where they come out hot, throw the ball over the middle of the field, and that thing sails, gets tipped, and picked. We see it this past week easily. We can point out moments. So getting those completions early, getting your quarterback settled into the game so that you can run your entire offense. Now, I got to talk about the best defensive back in this football game, D'Angelo Pons, because when he's healthy and out on the field, this is, I think in my opinion, a top 6-7 cornerback in college football. Does Illinois have the type of player that in a one-on-one scenario will be able to consistently beat D'Angelo Pons on the outside, or will Luke Altmyer have to go somewhere else? I believe the game plan for Illinois going into this game will be a little bit of a heavier dose of Altmyer running the football. It's going to be necessary for him to at some point carry the ball, get him 4 or 5 carries in the first half, get the legs going for him. We haven't really seen it that much on the season so far. He has mobility. He's a better athlete than a lot of people are willing to give him credit for. I want to see a little bit more of that dynamic ability. Get Luke Altmyer running the football. Obviously, Caden Fegan ran it pretty well. 100 yards on the day and a touchdown, and Valentine was 63 yards on the touchdown. Let me know if you're an Illinois fan, if you want to see Altmyer with a little bit of the mobility, because the guy can run around pretty well. We saw him against Duke, slinging it pretty well outside the pocket, but those offensive coordinators that talk about, I need a quarterback that can get me 4 to 5 off-script play breaks down, first downs a game, where he's able to extend the play, get outside the pocket, complete the ball down the field, break out of a sack, and scramble for a first down. Need to see that out of Luke Altmyer. The trenches are huge for matchups like this, because when you expect the game to be close, the offensive line has to hold up. Your defense has to stop the run. Now, Illinois did exactly that against Western Michigan, 3.3 yards a carry. Pretty good performance. You know who else did a pretty good job stopping the run? It's Indiana State. I know that these teams are not great. They're not great programs, but still, you got to play who you play. 1.3 a carry, 31 rushes for 39 yards for Indiana State. This is as good of a performance you can have. Obviously, that game is over in the first quarter. They go out. They're playing really strong football. Kobe Martin goes for 109, 2 touchdowns, 300 yards on the ground, and they ended up having close to 400 yards through the air, with several quarterbacks getting into the game, being able to work out a couple of different guys, but that is not going to be anywhere close. I would take 135 yards rushing right now, I believe, if I were Indiana going into this game, and having something around 4.5, 4.6 yards a carry against that Illinois front. And if I'm Illinois, have to tell you, besides Pons, I'm going to the other side of the field, and I am finding my matchups where I can get Luke Altmyer throwing the football down the field. He's proven himself enough the past 2 seasons that he is accurate enough that he's not going to turn the football over in key moments, and that he is more efficient with the ball in his hands. Last year, 22 touchdowns to 6 picks, whereas the year before that, 13 to 10. We understand that his ability has been elevated. We see an even better version of him, with the completion percentage already looking a lot stronger for Luke Altmyer early in the season. Now, Mendoza, we can easily say I'm pretty confident with that this is the biggest football game at this point of his career. Maybe even for Altmyer. No, that was a big bowl game for them against South Carolina last year, and them coming out with a really nice win. But for Fernando Mendoza, how many more opportunities do you expect to get than a Big Ten moment at home at Hoosier Stadium, having just thousands of screaming fans, the environment, the energy for that. Indiana team that was in the college football playoff a year ago, great football team right now under the correct direction. Curt Cignett has this program right. Bret Bielema has had this program right for a number of years now for Illinois. I just want us to enjoy this one, because I don't see it getting out of hand. I don't see either team with an ability to lean on the other to the point where they win this thing by more than double digits. I just don't. As of now, I have Illinois winning this game 20-17, very much so leaning on the line play, that both teams will be conservative, not wanting to turn the football over. I can understand that perspective, and wanting to go out there, trust your defense, trust your pass rush, trust your secondary, and your quarterbacks that have a bunch of experience playing in these games, but not allowing them to pull the trigger until you really need to, until it's 3rd and 8. That's where I believe that this game can be won. Those 3rd down and longs, who can come up with it? Now, we'll see a turnover here, right? Turnovers happen. It's very hard statistically. You can't predict turnovers and when they happen. I got Illinois 20-17. Curious what you have as far as a prediction on this game. Illinois fan, Indiana fan. Let's enjoy. Big Ten matchups are back. We are so excited to see this one. I can't remember in my lifetime we had an Illinois-Indiana matchup where absolutely college football playoff hopes are on the line. Seasons can be on the line. The loser of this game is in a really tough spot. And the winner of this one, man, I'll tell you, I mean, Indiana, with what that schedule looks like the rest of the season, you're able to come out with a win in week 4 against the Fighting Illini. You got Oregon and Penn State the rest of the year, and that's it. Got at Oregon and at Penn State. Maybe 2 losses there. Maybe you're able to pull one out, but a loss to Illinois and still looking at going to Eugene and Outson, going to Penn State. 9-3 does not get you into the college football playoff this year. But on the other side of that, for Illinois, we know that they've got the Ohio State Buckeyes coming to town in a couple of weeks. But besides that, no other ranked teams on this schedule. They've got USC after this one, but it's the Ohio State Buckeyes. You can really see it. That 10-2 seems realistic for Illinois. They are able to pull out a win here against Indiana. Excited for it, pumped up for it. Please subscribe for more content in the future. We make college NFL football content every single day. So excited that football is back, and not just back, that we have huge games with playoff implications on the line. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.